Today, we're diving into the powerful story of an organization that basically had to build its own stage because the mainstream world of dance just wasn't making room. We're going to explore the incredible legacy of the International Association of Blacks in Dance. So let's start with the big question. It's 1991. You'd think decades after the civil rights movement that things would have changed, right? So why on earth was the world of professional dance still so exclusionary that Black artists felt they had to create a space just for themselves? It seems simple, but the answer? Well, it reveals some really deep-seated problems. To really get it, we need to take a step back. We need to see the dance world through the eyes of the Black artists of that time. And what you find is a landscape just filled with closed doors and forgotten histories. And look, these issues were systemic. This wasn't just a few companies having a bad year. Major ballet institutions were overwhelmingly white. If you were a Black choreographer, the people with fresh ideas, good luck getting funding and support. In schools, the history books pretty much taught dance as if Black artists never even existed. And because of that, even the stories of the true pioneers who did break through were just fading away. So what do? Well, a group of absolute visionaries led by Joan Myers Brown pretty much said, fine, if you won't give us a seat at the table, we're just going to build our own. And that's exactly what they did. This is the moment the International Association of Blacks in Dance, or IABD, was born. Their mission was brilliant, really. It was this powerful two-part strategy, preservation and promotion. On one hand, they had to save the history that was being erased. And, at the same time, they had to create new opportunities for artists, right now and for the future. It was a direct answer to every single problem we just talked about. And they put that mission into action right away. Their yearly conferences became the place to be for networking and collaboration. They started building archives to make sure that Black dance history would never be lost again. But they didn't just stay in their own lane. No, they actively pushed the mainstream institutions to do better. And so crucially, they invested in young talent through mentorship and made sure to celebrate their own legends with awards. For years, the IABD was doing all this vital work. But in the late 2000s, something shifted. The organization just entered this period of absolutely explosive growth, all driven by a new leader with a really powerful vision for what they could become. That leader was Denise Saunders Thompson, and this timeline really shows you her transformative impact. Over 14 years, she guided the IABD from being an important arts organization into an undeniable national powerhouse. This description from our source material really says it all, doesn't it? This wasn't just about being a good administrator. We're talking about a relentless drive and a forward-thinking vision that completely reshaped what the organization was even capable of. And the results of that leadership weren't just a vibe, they could be measured. And the numbers that tell this story are, to be honest, pretty stunning. Okay, check this out. Under her leadership, the organization's revenue grew from $80,000 to $6.5 million. That is not just growth, that's a total transformation in scale, in resources, in influence, all achieved through smart partnerships and a super clear, compelling vision. So how did they get there? A huge part of the strategy was grants. Between 2017 and 2023 alone, the IABD secured over $20 million in funding. That is a massive vote of confidence from the nation's biggest funders. They came to see the IABD as an absolutely essential institution. But it wasn't just about fundraising. They also became a leader in knowledge. They put out the Black Report, which was the first ever data-driven analysis of the Black dance sector. So now, they weren't just advocating with passion, they were advocating with hard data, which completely changed the conversation. And that work got them noticed at the absolute highest level. In 2023, President Joe Biden presented the IABD with the National Medal of Arts. This is the highest award the U.S. government gives to artists. It puts the organization right up there in the pantheon of American cultural institutions. And the awards didn't stop there. They also won a 2022 Anthem Award for a project all about reframing the narrative of Black dancers in ballet. So they were tackling one of the core issues that started it all, head-on, and winning major awards for it. It's an amazing full-circle moment. Now, after all that incredible success, it might be tempting to think the story's over, that the work is done. But the mission of the IABD is just as relevant today as it was back in 1991. The work is far from finished. Because even with all this progress, these fundamental problems are still around. Major ballet companies still have a really long way to go on representation. Funding for Black choreographers is still disproportionately low. And the way dance history is taught in a lot of places still centers European traditions. So the need for the IABD's advocacy, their preservation work, their support, it is still so urgent. The story of the IABD really leaves us with a powerful question. They have shown what is possible when you create a space for excellence to just flourish. It really makes you wonder, what could the world of dance and, honestly, our entire culture look like if every single stage was truly inclusive from the very beginning?